Hello, folks. Reverend Crystal Cox here. Okay. Okay, I want to talk to you about the notion of truth, the concept of truth. Okay? There is no one truth. There is no one path to God. You are God. Every moment is about the living God. My truth is based on my life experiences, my beliefs, my subjective perspective. Some say, well, the truth is the truth. Like, that happened the way it happened. Well, those of us who've experienced what many call the Mandela effect, we know that we can experience, I can be standing here and experiencing something, someone right next to me can see something different and experience something different because they're in a different frequency, a different reality. Okay? They're there, but they're experiencing something different than me. So my truth is mine. This person's truth can be completely different than mine, and it's still a valid truth for them. Okay? I may not prefer their truth. I don't prefer to live their truth. I prefer to live my truth. In the all-knowing truth, all truths are in that truth, right? Your truth, my truth. When you let go of trying to convince other people of what is true and what is right and what is the one way and the one true God, and then you are free to actually live your truth. Okay? Their truth is valid. Your truth is valid. All right. Check out the description. I will have a link to my Rumble channel for Elan Bashar. And the Elan information is pretty much all you need, right? You don't need any of the books. You don't need any other information. You study that. You learn how to be your highest and best self. You learn how to be your preferential self. In other words, the self that you prefer and not the self that someone else prefers you to be so they feel better about themselves, okay? If someone's constantly at you about what you need to do, you need to mow your lawn. You need to do this with your kids, this with your diet. You need to go to the doctor. You need to take this pill or that pill or do this or do that or blah, blah, blah. They're not doing the work for themselves. They're not living their life for themselves, okay? They're constantly living with the idea that their life would somehow be better if only you would be the version of you that they need you to be so they're more comfortable, okay? All right. Anyway, check the link for the Elan information. Really good tools to living your preferred self. All right. So, one truth. Okay. So, you value your truth, and each sovereign individual values their truth. Okay? If you're constantly badgering somebody about what their truth is, then you're not living yours, right? Well, it's my truth to police everyone else and to convince them of my truth. They haven't had my life. They don't have my lens they look through things. They don't have my subjective perspective. And what do I mean by subjective perspective? Okay? There's no facts. Oh my gosh, right? You know the double-blind split experiment theory in quantum physics where the observer affects the experiment, right? So there is no fact. Okay? It's subjective perspective. The perspective you have on anything is subjective to your own beliefs, your own views, which creates your energy field, which creates your frequency, which creates your version of reality. Oftentimes, people they just want to live their truth, and they feel 100% about what they believe and what they know, and that's beautiful. But then they want other people to believe their truth, to hold on to that truth as their truth too. And so even though they want to be left alone to live their sovereign truth for themselves, they don't want to give that to the other people. Okay? And it's not like something you can give to somebody, but you can say no. Right? So I don't prefer if your truth is vastly different than mine, I don't prefer to hang out with you. but your truth is just as valid as my truth. You're a sovereign individual. I'm a sovereign individual. Okay? All truths being valid. Okay? Even if they seem like they're the opposite. Okay? Now, you notice that each set of truths, they have their own set of evidence, right? You really see it playing out in the media, right? This side will say it's so fascinating to go and look at like the radical left, the radical right, the progressives, the religious fanatics, the whatever, all across the board. So one particular news event that say happened in a particular day, you go and look at the spin that each one of them put on it. Okay. Oh, well, they make a convincing argument, right? Because they pull out all the facts and information and provide all the evidence so that their way is right. And then so does this person and this media company. And everybody's got their own set of evidence for why they feel or believe that something's true. Okay? So you don't necessarily give them, you give yourself the gift of peace of mind by not constantly needing other people to live your truth. Okay? But letting yourself actually live your truth. Now, it's not my truth to constantly be at someone else to live their truth, okay? I like to spiritually advise people. I like to give people readings and healings. And I want to live my truth. If they don't want to live my truth, no problem, right? I'll live my truth. However, I can't necessarily hang out with them or be close friends because we in totally different worlds. Now, I've had times in my life where I haven't been like that, and I still will probably be tested to fine tuning that a bit, where I would be in close quarters with someone and need to control them, right? So, in other words, I need them to believe what I believe. I need their thought process to be like me. I need things they do to be logical and I don't need that in my congregation members. I don't need that in the people that I help or that I counsel. I don't need that in children. I don't need that in pretty much most everybody. But when really close friends or in intimate partnerships, I have had where I needed, in order for me to be okay, I needed them to follow along with the way that I believed, okay? And I've hopefully dissipated that. We'll come across that test another day. So yeah, so sovereign divine truth, each person having their own truth. Right, expanding your definition of truth. Like, your definition of truth is always expanding based on what you experience. There's no one like you, right? So when we cross over and we move to parallel lives, we move to a parallel reality, or we're in the matrix, our program or whatever. When we I just went on a huge tangent there. All right. We are unique. So even though we're part of this big, okay, so say we're, a drop of water is a good analogy. So we're a drop of water, we're in the ocean, right? But we still have our own, in our drop that's us, we have our own beliefs, our own perspective, okay? We've experienced life on earth in a certain way. We've had certain experiences. We keep that unique perspective even when we cross over. And there's no such thing as death. Okay? And every experience we have, we expand our version of what's true, right? And if we're constantly trying to convince other people that our truth is the best way, we're not getting new experiences, we're not living our truth, we're not testing our theories, we're just you gotta do it my way, or it's just not okay. And that becomes a way of life, right? So okay, so there's definitely not just one perspective. Okay, and allow other people's way to be valid. Okay, their truth it may be completely radically different than yours. Okay, but I keep wanting to say allow. You don't allow their truth. It's not, you don't allow someone else's truth, but you definitely allow your own. Okay, you either are your authentic true self all the time around people, or you're not. So and I don't mean like if you have some people come over and like some workers come over and fix something, you might be a certain way, certain polite, you're genuine, you're real, you're just not, you don't like lay your whole life beliefs and all this. So you're still your authentic self, but you're a version of you. Okay, but this is not advised in a partnership, because it's like, oh, there's compromise and we work on it. If you have to work on your relationship, it's not a relationship, it's work, right? You, to be 100% authentically your true self and be in a partnership, people struggle with. They're self-conscious, they constantly need validation from their partner, and so there's usually one that's more dominant in that way. So you kind of tend to change who you are, change what you like to eat, where you like to go, the things that you used to love and be passionate about before you met that person, you let go of. You're like, no, I'm not letting go of them, I'm independent. But it's kind of like, the frog boiling pot thing. If you don't know that, it's, the water gets hotter and hotter slowly so the frog doesn't jump out, right? And so that's what a lot of relationships are like. You come in like I'd said, with like someone coming in to do a construction project, and you're not superficial, you're real, but you're only a part of yourself, right? And that's kind of how dating is. And then you have fun and you visit, but then as you move into a life together, you start to suppress things about yourself slowly. You're like, well, I don't really need to do that thing, and I don't really need to do this thing. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I'm okay with not doing this. I'm okay with not doing that. And then eventually, next thing you know, you're not you at all, right? You're a version of you that other person wants you to be. But oftentimes we're not even that. I used to call it the monster, okay? So, because you're both doing that. So, for example, I say a lot in my relationship videos, if you have this favorite restaurant, like this favorite Chinese restaurant you love to go to, okay? And it's not that you love Chinese, but you love this restaurant, okay? And your partner has this favorite Mexican restaurant they love to go to, okay? So you go to a restaurant that has both, okay? And that's the compromise. So it's mediocre Mexican and mediocre Chinese, and neither one of you are fulfilled, and you're not experiencing each other. You're the monster. Ugh. Right? When instead, what would be exciting is you both go to your favorite Chinese place and you experience it, right? And you laugh and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I see how you like this people. I see how you like the staff. Oh my gosh, this is so neat, right? And then the next time you go to your partner's favorite Mexican restaurant. Oh my gosh, this is so neat. I see how you like this, or I see, things that you like about it. So you get to know versions of each other. It's kind of like the same thing I talk about having the same bedroom, right? If you have two separate bedrooms, like, come to my bedroom, right? I'll have all these cool things, and you can get to see me and know me and hang out in my bedroom with me. And then we can hang out another time in your bedroom, which is uniquely you. But a lot of people, and sometimes it's because of money or whatever, they share a bedroom. Ugh, so gross to me. I mean, sharing a bed, that is beautiful, right? Staying over, right? But when you're trying to be like, okay, well, do we both like that picture? Well, no, I don't want to compromise on a picture in the bedroom. I want what I like in my bedroom. I want my world to reflect me, my partner to visit me in my sovereign individual world, and me to visit my partner in their sovereign individual world. Getting to know two separate individual sovereign people and not becoming that monster where, the Chinese restaurant A, the Mexican restaurant B, and then you become C. Just a version of both of you that's not either one of you. And that's what a lot of relationships are. Okay, and so that which is two different truths. But that's truths in lifestyle, right? That's in, I don't mean lifestyle, I mean taste. Comes, what kind of food I like, the places I like to go, what I like in my home, how I like to live. Okay, I want to be able to do that and share that with my partner. And that's two different individual sovereign things, two truths in a way. But the truths I'm talking about, that like really big truths about political, medical, how you view the world, how you treat people, there's these big truths that I don't want to be in a partnership with someone who has a different truth than me. Now, their truth is still valid. Okay, and so like with what's going on now in the world, it's all exploding, right? So everybody's truth is valid for them, but forcing their truth on someone else, going, we're right, ours is the only way. Here's this data. Here's this scientific experiment. Okay, well, I could show you 1,000 scientific experiments, data, documents to back up what I believe, what I know is true for me. My truth is valid. My truth is right. My truth is all-knowing. And so is yours. And my truth is ever changing and ever expanding. The more I learn, okay, my truth expands. So if someone wants to know about your truth, share it, right? But like our main motto, our main rule or whatever with our church is live and let live, okay? So you have your religious beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, your philosophical beliefs, your life beliefs, and it's all faith, okay, and all welcome. But it's not allowed to push that on other people, okay? Every individual is sovereign. If they're like, oh my gosh, that's interesting what you're studying, I'd like to learn about it. Are you open to sharing with me? Oh yeah, I'd love to share it with you. But not, let's knock on everybody's door and save them. And speaking of Jehovah's Witnesses, because they call their religion the truth, that religion was made up by a man that made up the rituals, made how it went. They set up this nonprofit church. They got all this money. It's just this huge church and corporation, right? Based on some man's view of everything. And only the men are in charge. And there's only one truth, one way home, one God, blah, 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 right? And if not, we're gonna excommunicate or whatever. We're gonna throw you out of our church. We're gonna shun you. We're gonna drive you to suicide. Because of one man's vision of what he thought the world should be. This is the right. So we create reality by our truth. We create reality by our emotions, our beliefs, our programs. Okay, and that is ever changing. We move to parallel versions of reality billions of times a minute based on our beliefs. If I give you a reading today and give you a prediction, that's based on the energy of right now, your personal energy and the energy of the collective. That could radically shift based on the choices you make and the parameters of the mass consciousness of where the public is of what we agreed. Like we can shift to whatever reality we want. However, as an individual, sovereign individual, but also as a society, we can only go to certain levels until mass consciousness is in agreement to go to that next level, because that's what we agreed to experience here on Earth. Okay? So, check the description. The ELAN videos are awesome about this topic and about teaching you what is your preferred truth. Okay? When you go to sit down on a kitchen chair and that chair is going to catch you. You don't doubt it one bit, okay? That's the knowing that creates reality, okay? First, you have beliefs, okay? You figure out what you believe, take the unconscious beliefs and bring them into conscious by identifying them, okay? Belief moves into knowing, okay? I 100% know what's true for me, okay? I know. Then I get new information, and I know an expanded version of that truth, okay? And I don't go around and badger other people to believe my truth. That's kind of what the whole internet and everything's about, right? But I love sharing information. I love studying. I've always loved that. But at this point, the challenge is to live your truth, to be your truth for you and only you as a sovereign individual. And to not push that truth on other people. There is not one truth. Okay? There is not one set of facts. You move realities to versions of reality based on the facts and the truth that you accept, that you believe, that you know for you individually. You move to different versions of reality where the people around you are different versions of themselves. Buildings are different, or either there or not there, okay? The color of the sun being a dramatic one that changed, that would be a kind of a mass consciousness for letting in more light, possibly, okay? The changes in anatomy, the changes in medicine, the changes in music, these are all based on individual changes that were made in that reality every second along the way. Okay, so when I learn a new truth in this reality, I also change the past. You studied a lot of that information about the now moment creates the past. We're like, well, I'm this way because of that. And my truth is this because of this happened to me when I was a kid, and that happened, and this. No, right now, you are who you choose to be right now. Okay? You take your version of the truth from wherever you want. You can blame your mother. You can pull it in from any direction. Well, this is just how I am. Right? Or you can open yourself to what is in this now moment. You can shift reality, boom, just like that, in an instant, as soon as you click in that knowing. And your knowing in this moment changes the past. Okay? That's quantum. So when people are like, well, that's the truth. Well, this is the truth. Well, that's the truth. Be like, well, no, that's the truth to you. No, it's the truth for everybody. It's a fact. It's a scientific fact. Okay? Which science are we believing here, okay? Are we going to believe the double-blind quantum? Are we going to believe that electrons change in those experiments based on the observer? We believe that science or this science? What science are you going to believe? Okay? If the observer changes every single experiment by just observing it, and they do, then every single fact and truth is ambiguous, right? It's based on that person, their reality, their world, okay? It's not my stuff. It's just not my stuff. Okay, so walk your truth, stand in your truth, be your authentic self, sovereign individual, your own truth, and allow other people their truth. And by allow, I mean don't be an ass. Be like constantly trying to berate people and, if you just do this, if you just do that, if you just do this. Let other people have their beliefs and let them come to new information as they come to new information. Okay? Move on. Find your tribe or be alone. Don't try to change people. Okay? Live it. Be the example. They'll be curious. They'll want to know. Or maybe you'll see something in their truth and you'll be like, hey, that does look kind of interesting. I would like to know more about that. Okay? But truth is malleable. It is suggestible, right? Truth moves into knowing. Truth is about beliefs and about what creates your frequency and your energy field that draws to you the reality that you perceive, okay? And what comes to you. And only to a certain level, because we have this game board matrix, whatever it is, that we only get to a certain level of the mass consciousness. I mean, we only get to a certain level until the mass consciousness goes past that level. Okay? But we still hold our truths. Okay? What we do with them, sometimes we're limited. Like, I know, it's my truth that I know I can fly, okay? But, and I do in my dreams, right? I astral travel, I'm flying around. Oftentimes when I wake up in this reality, I'm like, whoa, what? Like, there's nothing going on here, right? In my dreams, there's tons going on. So, which is the dream time, which is not the dream time. So there is no, I was going to say there's no such thing as truth. Okay, but there is such a thing as truth. It's just that it's about your authentic truth for you. Okay? It's not about... Yes, I'm repeating myself over and over, but this is so important. And that's why I listen to the Elan stuff over and over and over and over to remind myself what I forget. And it's such good information, but also now, and too, past through 2012 or whatever, the channels, people that used to channel like Seth, Pleiadian stuff, Bashar, Abraham, all that, they used to be able to separate themselves from the channel. So they just bring in the information, and then we could all take what felt right to us and apply it to our lives or not. And then they would also do the same. But now we can't do that. The channel can't separate themselves, okay? You listen to channels now and they're interjecting their personal opinion, their subjective, objective perspective, okay? Their truth is coming through in the channeling. It's not pure anymore. Okay, and the Elan stuff is pure mostly because he did it in the 80s and then he stopped. Okay, tools on how to be a human being. focus on what you want to bring into your life. Do not focus at all on what you don't want, okay? Constantly telling yourself, well, how would the preferred version of me react to that, okay? How would the preferred version of me feel about that? And when you have an emotion come up, you say, what must I believe to be feeling this emotion? And then you identify the belief, because the belief creates the reality. And oftentimes we find those beliefs were not our beliefs. They were in our DNA, in our ancestral line, okay? They were our mothers or our fathers or religion or what we think we have to do to fit into reality, what we believe, okay? We're always believing something. Whether we believe good things are going to happen or bad things are going to happen, we're believing in something, right? So why not believe in the preferred reality? So when something comes up and you go, well, what would the preferred version of me be doing? Okay? And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, till you create that frequency, okay? Which person do you prefer to be based on your actual truth? Okay? And the people that are in your life that people don't make you feel bad, but you feel bad around. It's because you're out of alignment with your truth. Okay? They're not living your truth. Everything they say, everything they believe, everything they think they know is completely opposite and adverse and toxic to you, but you keep them in your life because you can't handle if their disapproval. And it's usually something in the past to do with the mother or the mother lineage with that, where you're constantly seeking their approval at the sacrifice of your own self, your own truth. And it's funny, sometimes I have these people in your life that'll believe so different than you. They'll talk horrible, they'll eat different, they'll have this Western medicine, they're always complaining, they got all of this, just the way that they live their life is just, completely offensive to your senses and out of alignment. You feel bad and odd around them all the time, but yet you want their approval. You want their validation, okay? Because that's a program we have. We want them to be okay, so we're okay. But I don't want someone to be okay with me that lives a life so toxically opposite of anything that I believe in. Oh, I'm going to please you. Are you okay? Do you love me? Hey, mommy, do you love me? Do you love me? Even though she disrespected me, she treated me horribly, she always chose other people over me, the list could go on and on of all the toxic things that she is to me, even today. But yet I would want to please her so she's okay. My truth not even mattering, right? That's what we're talking about. Her truth is valid. Your mom's truth is valid. Your preacher's truth is valid, okay? People at the store, the people at school, professors, whatever, their truth is all valid, okay? But it's not your truth, and it doesn't have to be, okay? There's room for all the truths, and they all exist, all right? Be your authentic self 100% of the time. Speak your truth, walk your truth, act your truth, okay? If you're around people that do not like that and are constantly at you, get them out of your life, because that's how we create reality, okay? You create reality by what you focus on and what you allow into your life. And if you're constantly focused on how to make that other people happy, how to make sure they're not mad at you and they're okay, then your reality is just constantly about making other people okay, never really about experimenting and figuring out what you like and getting to know you and living your truth and expanding that truth and putting more things on the menu of things that you like and that are true for you. Okay? And I wish that for you. I love you. Bye for now.